And as Henry mentioned, we'll be touching a bit for the next 7.5 minutes on digital twins in healthcare. I'm sure this is an advanced audience in the area, but as I conduct this presentation, it's always handy just to give a reminder of what a digital twin is, and it's a digital representation of a physical system or objects. They've been around for quite a while and have continued to evolve, and it's exciting to see how we've begun to use digital twins more and more in our nomenclature and parlance for our different services, but date back to our early systems in the 1960s. But now when we look forward to the topic of digital twins in healthcare, I would first point you to this book that just came out about 7 months ago, I think it was, Virtual You. It's available through your bookshops and through Amazon. And it does a really in-depth analysis of the aspects of computational biology, of the mathematics involved, and the latest generations of simulation that are being able to use digital twins for different medical and pharmacological applications. On top of that, here in the United States, we had the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine that put together a comprehensive report also about 6 months ago on future directions and foundations for digital twins. And of note, Appendix D was entirely dedicated, basically almost a book unto itself, about digital twins in healthcare, and talked about digital twins making specific improved medical decision-making at the individual patient level, further predictions for being able to do things in computational biology for precision medicine, and includes references and conversations with quite a few organizations, especially even in the UK with some of the other projects that people may be familiar with in their work in patient digital twins. Oh, mouse is not mousing. There we go. So to speak a bit more specifically about digital twins in health and life sciences, particularly over the last 5 years, there's been a number of initiatives that we've seen certainly here in the US, but as I mentioned there, the EDITH project and Virtual Human Twin, those are both European projects with US collaboration and collaboration from the UK. In addition, we have the National Institutes of Health. National Cancer Institute has the Cancer Patient Digital Twins. The picture on the right there is from a University of Texas project called MySimi, which is molecular information exchange. Johns Hopkins University now has a digital heart program that they're using for atrial fibrillation. And there are several others from Stanford and other organizations. And it's really been a chance to bridge the gap between high-performance computing resources, the growth of AI and ML, and computational biology, and start being able to focus digital twins in these various efforts in ways that are personalized to the individual, include their health information, and help yield information through visualization and tools. Yeah. So just a bit of a common discussion about this idea of a patient digital twin, which we see as the next frontier. There are many complex systems that are involved for digital twins and representing patients and persons. There's a system approach where perhaps your digital twin includes multiple digital twins, and they talk about this a bit in the Virtual You book, which we call a digital twin aggregate. That also reflect other forces that we consider genomic, exomic, biomic, and something we know as digital twin, or excuse me, social determinants of health. And who owns the digital twin and who governs the digital twin helps kind of address its makeup. And mentioning those different data sources, here's some of the common data sources, things that include information that we consider the human blueprint, something like the EHR, or in the NHS, it's known as the EPR, imaging data, lab tests, wearable medical devices. And then there are other exomic forces or external forces beyond the information about you and your body, such as research, epidemiological data, social services, that form part of that exomic information that can influence what the human twin does, excuse me, the digital twin, when you subject it to human forces or different medications, trying to gauge the reaction of medication protocols to diseases, etc. One quick plug, I'm also the co-chair for the Digital Twin Consortium Health and Life Sciences Working Group, and we have been working on a reference architecture. I believe that the folks within the Catapult and the UK Digital Hub are also part of or have an agreement with the Digital Twin Consortium, so I'd love to see your participation there.
You just looked like a bloody mess this morning. Look,
And
sorry.
That's okay. And you can see just some of the elements that we draw on for what we're developing together. And I think I'm inside my 8 minutes. Thank you very much. We look forward to talk to anyone about this further.
For Jim, fantastic initiative. Do you also leverage semantics in your work? Is part one of this question. Also, can you comment about how you take care of GDPR in your digital twin, as in General Data Protection Regulation, which is for non-UK, non-Europeans, is the personal privacy requirements over this side. Yeah, so Jim, over to you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. And yeah, wonderful question. I'll take the last part first, mainly because that would take more time for explaining, but would love to discuss further the aspects of GDPR in digital twin architectures. And we also have another initiative that we call Zero Trust Architecture as part of an extension for how to engineer cybersecurity. And within the Digital Twin Consortium, as a matter of fact, we have a security, privacy, and trustworthiness working group, and we get into some of the aspects of how do you set up trust vectors between, say, IoT devices to be able to accommodate that measure of trust and security for GDPR compliance as part of that digital twin simulation. And then there's aspects of consent and consent management for data that's being used in the simulation. So yeah, would love to talk about that for quite a bit. And semantics is definitely an area where semantics of different data types that is based on work already being done within the object management group and things in the Digital Twin Consortium fit into that interoperable aspects and reuse of data in semantic stacks and semantic models for in silico type representations.
Jim, for medical digital twins, for somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience around them, how closely coupled can the measurement modeling be with medical interventions?
Absolutely. I'm actually going to point to Pascal's wonderful presentation because there was something that I thought was worth highlighting. He pointed out how SimCity was previously or could be considered a digital twin for an urban digital twin. And I think he makes a tremendous point. Reason being is that SimCity represented a certain level of sophistication to visualize or use information for doing something, which is the heart of what he also elaborated on for digital twins. And we're looking at it the same way in a medical or a healthcare digital twin, patient digital twin concept. You may have a digital twin that is a high level, simple extrapolation that you're using on your mobile device or at your PC or that your GP has access to that provide some basic information. But when it comes to that relationship between the measurement, the precision information, and an actual medical intervention, that small representative digital twin might reach back to, say, a very sophisticated high-performance computing digital twin that's focused specifically on a topic of atrial fibrillation or something with the heart, or cancer or genomic interventions, something with cancer treatment that's being done, and the two twins collaborate to come up with a level of precision and information that would be appropriate for a medical intervention. So maybe you just kind of run your human digital twin game in the background that has enough information to then identify when it should get into something more specific from a computational perspective in order to actually yield a medical intervention.
Excellent. So it's all about use case and which different user needs to see what, which makes a lot of sense. A hugely political question for Jim. We have the NHS over here, the National Health Service. What challenges or advantages do you think do you experience with looking to implement digital twins in the US healthcare system? Easy one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have some colleagues in NHS, and we've talked on some of these issues. And quite frankly, or I would add that they also collaborate with some colleagues of mine at the National Institutes of Health. So it represents some of the government level stuff that's being done between like Veterans Health Affairs, NIH, and NHS. There's some advantages just based on scale and some of the different methods that you're approaching in data collection in the NHS that are different in the US. It's very different in the US because of just the sheer size and scale. We got to go.